this is NDK. Today is June 29, 2021, and it's in the morning. I woke up in the mornings. I'm a morning person. Um, I like to, and just like during the summer right now, it's very good to wake up and see the sunshine, the sunrise, and it feels very good. Actually, the breeze outside and enjoying the weather. Um, As for people that don't know me personally, I'm a very normal person. Um, like I have lived my life in real life. Like I haven't lived like a life that is very, produced or very um isolated from everybody else. Like I went to school with um people. I have my family. I did things in the weekends. Just very normal things for as life as I know it. Um, and I always been like this. My character normally is like this happy, go lucky kind of person. And I grew up. Um, when I grew up, I was aware that just like by the things that I wear or by the things that I do, how they were very popular or how they might be like uh, in television or something, but I didn't watch enough television or I wasn't interested on television or famous people to know that I might be famous or known to other people. I was always like interested in school and books and dance and whatever. And also the only reason that the only media that I was always, you know, they have to be with entertainment is singing, and that's something that I have done since like I have memory. I was like very young, and I always been this like it's like a love for that and a joy that brings. That is just something that is just another level for me. And it's like one of those things that I miss the most because through all this process I kind of needed to stop doing that just because I didn't like how this is being used, like this gift and the joy. Just do it for the joy and how it feels, and just knowing that putting my voice in another person and using it as as a catfish to do other things is not something that I want. This is not how I want my gift to be presented. And that's why I kind of just stop. And I sing sometimes like I will like I will be just singing the whole day, but right now I just do it like sometimes, like sometimes I have these like little tunes and I just sing it because like just at the moment. And I don't I do that less and less, but I still do it. Just it's almost like a reflect. You cannot stop a reflect because it's just engraved on me. It's just one of those things, it's one of those things that I really kind of like I don't lament anything, but it's just one of the things that I miss the most. And just to be um honest and clear, all these things started um just by having know that this is my voice and this is my body on my face, and it's just like in different persons, and it's something that is I'm not putting up there. It's not my parents putting up there what's happening. And with all these questions and things that over personal that I've been going or in school, or of things that I'm doing. And I always don't want to speak because you have to be sure of what you're saying and what you're saying is true, especially with something that is very delicate as this is. You don't want to accuse the wrong person. But it's just things have been going on for a very long time, and some things that I came and um, bring to attention to, but were not look at the time, and just keep happening. And at the time, just it got to a point with me. This is what prompts me to become vocal and speak about my situation. Is that it was dangerous to it's very dangerous to my existence, to my life. I The very specific moment is like I'm coming out of where I live, and I have a stalker, and every time I'm going to class, this person is following me. So I go and report that to school. That's like one of the things that was just scary, and it's like I'm just out of my parents' house. I'm very innocent. I'm very, I don't have that kind of mentality of like, oh, people are going to harm me because this is not how I grew up. But it comes to the point where you have to, in the situation, I became aware, not everybody has the best intention, but I always told us like people that were not around me. um I always like, and then I remember like the people that were pretending to be my friend pretended like to like just walk with me so I'm safe, and you know it just kind of, and it was never in my mind at that time all the time because I was too busy, and I was never afraid, and I'm not the kind of person that gets afraid very very easily. And then another time, in another point of my life, also walking out of the place I live, and this person is really going to kill me. And is coming out of the car, and unless this other car is coming behind them, they haven't run. And another instance, this other van comes, and this person takes a gun and pointed to me, and it's like the scariest things, it's like, why, like, I don't have enemies, I haven't done any crimes, I'm nice to everyone, and I only have interest in my books, I've never done anything wrong, like it's like it's like the war stopped and ended, you know when you are in a situation, because when you do something that you expect, you know retaliation, then you understand it, but I never done anything that, you know um I couldn't point it out. And even still to this point, it's very hard for me to understand why someone will come after me. But I do now understand that hate hatred has no faces, or not a reason or stop. Irrationality and insanity has doesn't know reason. So, and just these things, started to happen, and you know, I again think that I can trust these people around me, which is, just friends from school, so people that I know from volunteering. And I think that everyone that volunteers, like I volunteer to um, in a clinic or feed people from hungry. It's like people that make houses for people that need houses. Just things that were very noble and purpose that you will never expect any of this. And as I'm doing this, I think that everyone, as me, has the best intentions. And this can be very long, but I don't want to make it very long. I want to make my point clear. And my point is that, this was what I didn't, because I have my intentions pure, and I will never harm another person in purpose, and I will never establish a business that is harming people and taking their money too. So I never understood that perhaps these people that were doing these things were just there for the money, even though they were non-profit, and that they have other agendas. So to the point is, okay, this is how I got to understand all this. So there is a total monopoly of the market. And what I mean by this is that even though you walk to a plaza or to a mall and you see all these different auctions, it doesn't mean that a whole group of people or a family or a church is not owning all these different businesses. And these auctions are just illusions. So you have no auctions at all. And not only that, you're paying money to have either food or clothing, entertainment, housing, and even though you're paying money for those, there is other ways in which these businesses has established in which they can make even more money by creating situations that are difficult for you. And when you, as a person, a um, present any resistance, then they go after you, and that is where things happen. And presenting resistance doesn't mean that you have to even do anything. It's just that if you are a smart person that live your life in a way that is not benefiting them, that's a resistance to them. So, okay, this is a turning point that I said, this is life and death. So I'm sleeping in my bathroom, and I suddenly I wake up, and there's like my windows are very big, so I can see everything outside. And this night I saw a bunch of police cars and officers and all these different people blocking the street where I live. And I don't live in a bad. This is a very good neighborhood. So I like, okay. My reaction, because I saw the ambulance, is that someone got very sick. But just because of the time and what has happened, and never heard any like noises that reflect that the police should be there or ambulance should be there, it was very strange. So I wake up and it's like, and I'm trying to find out what happened, through the window. I said, okay, maybe one of my neighbors got sick or something happened, but you know, the thing just kind of suddenly everybody started moving, but it took to a very long time. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to sleep and talk this very isolated incident. It was an incident that. So, but what happened is that over that nights, at different times and different areas of the neighborhood, which I can see all this start to happen again. And another kind of person, like I'm curious, but another kind of person, I don't like spying. And I'm just like, this is being seen to me by accident, just like, okay, if there is a bunch of light through your windows, it's something that you will notice. And a lot of nights, this just keep happening. And one of the nights, um, as the ambulance passed there, I saw that they were taking people out of the houses in the car. Yes. And this is when it got very scary. And I don't know how to explain this. I don't know how to say it. I don't know if I can say this. I don't know how this is. Like, it's just like a question mark and like insecurity and it's like uncertainty and it's very like, how do you explain this? So, and that happened a lot. And as I mentioned, it's a very good place. And these are a bunch of police officers who should be doing their work. And this is happening a lot. And they're blocking the streets. They're having this. They're taking people out of their houses, but not in conscience. Like in the bed in the ambulance. So where are these people being taken? What is happening? So all this is what has been, and it's been years from there. And like I am not from the inside, so I cannot tell what was going on or what they were doing. But that's just what ring an alarm as a human person who, have to be safe. And just to conclude this, as the point of view that I saw from a third person that is not participating of any of this, is that my neighborhood where I was living, where I saw people and walk and it was full of life, it started to be very quiet. Houses were, it seemed like there were not even people there. And as I passed to those houses, I wonder if these people were there, what has happening, or having any indication. And it's almost like they move or disappear, or I don't know. And this is what has, you know, um, opened my eyes to a reality, of how unsafe it is because the organizations that supposed to keep you safe are the ones that are doing the crimes. And it's like I never, as a person, like I can only say this because as I said, it's like I just saw it from the, it's anyone can have that observation. But the thing is that as I was volunteering with these different places, I started to see that their motives were impure, and all these other things that prompted me to stop volunteering because my intentions mm, have never been harming or taking advantage of people. And I felt that, if I cannot give a piece of bread to a person, or if I cannot eat it myself, I won't give it to a person because if it's going to make them sick. So if I know that a bread is bad, I won't give it intentional to a person that a bread that I won't eat just to is so. And this is very important people that have a lot of positions that are very important and very respectable in society and have a lot of power of and influence. And I, as a human being, have the right to not have my image to be used to attract people and then have them being harmed or have them being put in harm way or do something that so um because this is one of the things that they use entertainment as a doorway to you know be friendly and to be to advertise to attract people, and then whatever they do in the sideways is something that the public and I never know. So this is so when I come and I speak about all these things, it's not because it's not as range and it's not crazy. It's very serious. It's very rare. It's grounded in reality and proof, and it has nothing to do like and it's and a lot of like things that people are going to say and do is just for attention. A lot of people do that because as long as they're in the media, they will just continue doing that. Um, it's it's just they pay for propaganda. They pay the newspaper. They force them to write stories that are false. And like I don't have the money to do that. I won't do that because it's not morally like I don't have the morality to do that. And I don't need I don't want that kind of attention. I don't want to be in the entertainment industry in that way that it's just attention seekers and just self promotion. Um, so any other stories that are not their agenda, I know doesn't get published, doesn't get attention, doesn't get anywhere. It doesn't stop me from trying because what I'm trying to say is very important. It's not selfish because I know that a lot of people can see into their lives and see how they can improve their life and how they can keep themselves safe. And I go to a lot of intimidation, threats, and mockery, and I don't pay attention to because it's a lot of people that are a lot of men who are very vulgar and very low and just like the things that I have they do. It's like if people put attention to this, it's like you're as low as they are. Because a man that hacks a camera of a person and show them having using the restroom or having their period is just very low, or mocking a person because they have a period, or mocking a person who is using the restroom, or presenting a person who is taking a shower. It's just you are just showing that you are who you are, and it's not a very good picture, and nobody wants to see that. Like I don't want to see people using the restroom or people in the intimacy. That's just disgusting. And this is the tactics that I use doesn't intimidate me. It doesn't do anything to me because I am not exposing myself out there. Um, I have been to a lot of difficult times, and as a human being, I think everybody has highs and lows. But even though I've been to difficult times, I'd rather just go hungry than do things that will denigrate me. And and at this point, like like I didn't even expect it to go like to be able to tell my story as far as it has been. And I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow because like even if I go to the downstairs or wherever I go, it's just like this group of people who just go from different names, and I don't know how they get in, I don't know how they get out. They just think that they have the rights to be there and to do whatever they want because they have because they have power, because they pay the authorities, because they are the authorities at this point, because you know how they became the authorities, because they have replaced everybody else and become imposters, and now they have the power. And so so they can say whatever they want, which doesn't mean it's true when people know, because if you know what I have for dinner, you know that I haven't done what you're saying. It's like it doesn't worry me. It doesn't worry my mind, and it's not that I'm not arrogant. I'm very humble and very nice. But they can present me however they want to because they just fear me. This is just a lot of fear because if they present my face and they let people listen to me or talk to me, people will know who I am and how they have been mistreating me, abusing me, and misrepresenting me. And it's just that's just the fear. The fear is this whole truth coming out and this whole sham collapsing into their hands, which sooner or later, I will it will. It will. It doesn't matter when, but it will. And um, because I never been married, I never the things that they have said. It's all it's all untrue. Um, I don't have any children. I'm not old like my parents. It's even my parents are old. Were very young, and like it's like at my grandma's, I was like the only one that has like the last kid at my grandma's, but everybody else like just went in reverse and is now younger than my mom and my dad and younger than me. It's like, oh my god, how is it that I grew older and older than my parents, and you're younger than my parents and me now? Wow, that's I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that's possible. So and sometimes like I sometimes it, the situation is so tough and the reality is harsh that sometimes I joke and I'm not going to lose my sense of humor, but it doesn't mean that this is not serious. And this a lot of people are missing. A lot of people that haven't have the chance to speak as I do, and I personally don't have any like don't know any persons that have been to the same situations that I am. Like I haven't in person because a lot of these people have contracts that don't allow them to speak about this because they're under threat and under contract, and that's make them liable. Um, so like there's no support group that, and I don't feel like, to be honest, I don't feel that I need any kind of like a reassure, even though the situation is hard. What I need is this to stop, and as long as it doesn't stop, I'm going to keep speaking because it has to stop. This is my likeness, this is my copyrights, this is my work, and I should be the only person that has the power to publish and to present my work as I want to, and not to be used in other ways as a commercial for commercial use when I'm not getting any are not getting benefits. They're getting all the money. So they're getting all the money, they're getting all the benefits, and they're getting the publicity, and all I get is the views, and all I get that I get nothing. I don't. This is just funny. I don't even know who invented this. I don't know what they were thinking, because like, how is this that I'm going to agree to any of us? Like, how do, because like some people have been misled into thinking, oh no, maybe you are going to pay your this is you're going to get all this, and then nothing happens. But I have never even agreed to, like, I don't even know how they thought that this was going to be um, a good business for them. I'm sure this is a very good business for them, because they make a lot of good money. um, I'm sure they make money other ways that I'm not aware of. Like, this is the thing. Like, I'm like, I'm a hard worker. Like, if when I put my mind to something, I work very hard, and the works that I have, people know me. I work very hard, but like I'm work oriented. It's like some people are business obsessed oriented. That they see a rock and they pick this rock and they invent a, a story for the rock, and they say, and they price it twice or three times when the rock have no even value, and everybody can go and get it in the ocean for free. And this is the kind of business mentality that these people have, and it's just like see something and it's like steal it and then market it, and it's theirs, and they're getting all these different benefits and money for something that they haven't put any effort into, very little effort into. So it's a marketing business. It's like psychology, that it's a way to market. um, they use psychology and commercials and advertisement to make people believe that they need all these products when they don't. So back to, all this that I can explain my story, like my point of from my point of view, and my point of view haven't been vantage, because like I'm from like the outside kind of part, because like I never participated, like I never been like in front of the camera in Hollywood, or I never been into, these organizations that I don't, like I never, I'm not a police officer, right? That's, I'm not a fireman. So these things are from uh, outside perspective. However, my testimony is valid and is truthful and is insightful. And through all the activities, and because this has been happening since I was born, I have got to know everyone, who is everyone in Disney. And I know, like I was like, they will come to me and it's like, oh, did you know this person is very famous? Like, what? Like, I will never, because like I'm not the kind of person that's like famous, obsessed of who is rich, or I don't I don't even like pay attention to these things. But they will always like, oh, this very famous person who did all this, and I'm like, what and what? I was never aware that this person who I see in real life, because they portray this different, very different life in reality, as this other person who has this very different life. It's like the cat has my life. Oh my goodness. I didn't know that. I mean that the cat has 9 houses with 9 lives and 9 wives. So this this is very interesting. Like, because I always have, like, I already have one life. It's like, okay, this other people, like, oh, they've been dead for like 20 years, but they have a life after that. It's like, how many opportunities did you get? Because um I can only do things once, and that's why I try to make very good decisions, because but I that doesn't interest me. I'm just saying how this all fit with the storyline, and how this all comes to be. And the point is that, they control the media, they control everything. It's a monopoly. And as long as this keep happening, and it's very difficult to get through, so that people, like, a lot of people know the right information, because every day and every minute they're feeding the media with all these different lies. And I know that people are smart, that people know how to differentiate the reality from facts. But sometimes when there is like information that comes every day, people think that's the truth when it's not. And they have a lot of scams, um, from vaccination to the pandemic, like every single scam that they can think of. As I say, it's a business mentality that as long as they can make a buck, that buck has to go to their pocket. And it's like everybody takes money, and that's like one of the things that makes it very hard, because um, people are used to, they think that their problems are going to disappear if they take money. And that's the reason that is they buy a lot of people. They buy judges, they buy witnesses, they buy everyone that can testify or can speak, um to what the reality is. So that's why is this barrier that. But what people have to remember is that, that money that they're paying is not their money, and that money that they're paying, that has been taken from the pockets of other people who really need it, or from yourself, from so in reality it's just bad money. And as in my conscience, like, I would think that, it's just, somehow this is okay. You get all this good amount now, and somehow in time it's just going to come and bite you in the back. And it's maybe them that is going to come and bite you in the back, because there is no loyalty there. There is no loyalty. You can't trust any of them, and that's what I learned. That's what I learned. All these very nice people who are church, um, officers, and um, good standing citizens, who are perfectly, um, portraying the perfect picture of a family or a church or a business is just a facade, and there is no loyalty. And if they're going to bite and they're going to scratch, they're vicious, ambitious, and competitors. They're going to scratch anyone who is in their way, and that's the way that they function. So it's and I have this relaxed kind of thing where it's like I have enough air, nobody's competing for my air, so I'm not going to. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So that's how I see it, and it's how it is. It's just that people just are very selfish, want everything for themselves. Um, so as it is, just I just wanted to express all this because you know sometimes, and it's just a very long conversation, and I know I can go into every detail, but I think these are important details to understand. It's not like it's not like I never been paranoid or I never been like I never like it's like it's hard how hard it was for me to come to this understanding just because I don't there is no reason to be after a girl, a young girl, like who can be your daughter, your granddaughter, or your just because and with this viciousness. And this is why it was so hard for me to grab this concept that this can happen, but it is very rare, and it's just it doesn't come from me to want just to say things, and it's just like I don't come and say everything that happened, but even like for me going and buying food, how much like this whole month, and this month was like something because I'm lactose intolerance, but even like buying food, it's like how many times like my food has been tampered with, and it's like just to make me sick, and to it's very vicious, and it's just something that you don't do to anyone, and the people that are doing this is just have evil in their heart. And I don't know what else to say it, and they sing a song. It's like they're bad, and they will be bad, and they will continue. They're bad. They will be bad, and they will continue to be bad. Um, she know who she was because she described herself very well. It's not coming from my mouth. And I don't, it doesn't it doesn't interest me where she's put herself out there and just want attention, and she will want attention, and she will sleep with grandpa, and she will sleep her way up to the top to every man that she knows. If it isn't sleeping doesn't get her anywhere where she got to, then she will pay her way up to whatever. It's this kind of mentality that will do whatever it takes until she gets there, because this delusion in her mind is telling her to do this because she's the chosen one and it's her destiny. So, good people, I'm just going to just leave this conversation, but I just wanted to say that there's a lot of people things going out there right now, and it's a lot of distractions are trying to just to cover what is the reality, and what people have to get focused. If a society as a society people want to get anywhere, just get focused and don't get into all this um, different kind of like all these small issues that they're trying to create. The issue here is that this country it's been sold, it's been taken apart, and it's been taken apart from the top, and it's been taken apart from the very same people that should be holding it together. And the reason that this is happening and why this is happening is because it's being infiltrated from the top. And I just explained at the beginning how this might have been possible, that how this has happened, um, and then creating this monopoly where it's a group of people, this group of people who are controlling everything, and everybody else is left out, and everybody else who's against them, or even as you don't present a resistance, as I mentioned before, you're out, or they look a reason for do something to you or single you out or whatever they decide to do, because this is how terrorism and cult works. Um, Everybody has to think the same. Everybody has to look the same. Everybody has to do what they're told. So have a good morning. And I just wanted to say this: just concentrate in the focus. The main focus is that it's just to get to this part where it's not just propaganda that is being told out there, where the media, and we have so much media and so many resources, but our armies handle. And it will be good to get to a point where the media and all the resources that we have available that people didn't have before were used to good use, where people are well informed. And one thing that I learned is that you should not count on authorities to protect you. Um, and it's not like, oh no, I don't like firearms. I never like firearms or guns or anything like that. I never own one of those. But just your safety is you. It's you who is responsible for your safety and your family. And the government is not there for you. You have, like, people need to try to elect the less worst of the government if they have this option. And even when this happens, it doesn't get to the seat because someone else who is from who knows what country is terrorizing the town and taking the seat. So our governments don't even get to the seat. And that's another reality that we have to be aware. So the laws out there, because one of the other things, like, there were a bunch of laws and things that happened before, and when they changed all these people, they also changed the law, which they want this to mean that people who committed crimes and did a bunch of bad things want to have retrial when they were already tried for the things that they already did in the past. But because they have the people that are protecting them and pay for them and are there to create racial colors issues, they want to get a second chance when they did that in the past. That's not a thing of second chances or laws that are changing. You did this, and if you did this and it was proven, it should be left there, because the law as of the human beings don't change. And this is one of the things that is tricky that they want to accomplish. They want to they had put all other people in power to get to this point so that they can get away with the things that couldn't get away before. And this is what something that everyone has to watch out for, because once this barrier is broken, then it's just going to create a situation where everybody would just do whatever they want, because they can just pay their way and get away with this, because they have all these people in the seats that are not going to allow them to pay uh, to get to justice, or even to get to a place where it goes to court. So so it's a long process, and it's a lot to take on, and I just have to go and have my breakfast. This is what I wanted to say. This is NABK, and this is June 29, 2021, and this is me trying to explain all the situation right now out of my memory, like my stomach is saying have breakfast, and so I have spoken for a little bit, so I'm going to say take care, and um take care, and good morning. Good morning again. I have come back for my breakfast, and it feels better now. It's been very warm. It's midsummer. It's June. It's 2020 It's June 29 today, and it feels like June 29, which is good. I don't mind the warm weather, but it's been very, very warm. So I wanted to come back and finish tying up the conversation that I started um, earlier, because it's a lot of things to put into perspective, but I just wanted to do something that is complete, like my thoughts and the importance of what I'm trying to explain. And I'm just going to make a pause and come back. I am back, and I just went into something outside um, my door. So um, I just wanted to tie it up and say, like obviously my interest is not fame. I just the whole movie, like I my art class, like is like use the time to play the movie Fame. And I was like, oh my god, what am I watching this? Why? It's like don't even I didn't appreciate it. Like there are many movies that even though I don't like a lot of entertainment, they're good movies, but Fame is not one of those movies that at least I don't know who likes it, but I and it's just like in school, like something that you watch if you have to, like in your own time, not something that you put in school, but you just kind of see the mentality of the people that were there and why they were there for. And I started with the teachers, like some and just people who are very attention seeking. And you think that people grow out of that phase? I don't know because I'm not like that, but they don't, and they just like, okay, I don't want to know anything about you, like nothing, like absolutely nothing. We're not friends. We didn't like each other. We don't need to know about each other. Like I don't need to know about you. I don't publish my pictures so you can see it. So I don't. It's like we're not enemies. We're not friends. It's just like we don't see. We're not in the same page in life. And that's how I see it. Like I don't argue people. Like I understand. Like everybody's different. Everybody different things. I don't need to spend my time contradicting and arguing. It's like live your life, I live mine. Um that's how I never like got into conflict with many people, even though I was around people that have many different values and things that they did differently from me. Um but and that's like one of the things that really bothers me, that like all those people that pretended, like if you are pretending to be a woman and you are a man, and I found out that, and you have sleepovers when I didn't have like sleeps over with so many people, I have a right to get mad. That's something that is disgusting. That's something, if you don't feel bad about this, I don't know why you feel bad about it. Do you have no conscience? And that shouldn't have happened at the same time. And that's one of the things that was happening. Like, I know you as a man, you cannot be a woman, or I know you as a woman, you cannot be a man. And if you are, I have a right to be mad because you seek my friendship under pretenses and under a fake identity, and that's wrong. You understand? And so I so that's why many of the friendships, like, and people is like, oh, now I'm coming out like gay. No, those people are not gay because these people have dated people that are the opposite sex, and these people are abusing people who are women, and they're just trying to get away with this and lying and trying to gather sympathy. That's just a lie. That's just, and it's like the same thing with people that, like, I don't like, I went to school and people were of so many different races, and I didn't pay attention to it. I could have been blue. Anyone could have been blue, and I was like, okay, you're blue. That's you know. But what really bothers me is that people who painted their selves black, then paint themselves white. You cannot be black and white, Latino or Chinese, and whatever um, race you decide to be, and then trying to gain empathy and claim racism, and then uh, turn into something else to get attention, or to make a movie, or to go in real life and be at a grocery and pretend and want people to be okay with this, and then go in Alleluia and cry fake tears on television, and try to make this okay. And as long as you say this is okay, people should be okay with this, and you should have like all these organizations which are fake because the whole background story is fake, and try to gather empathy and playing with people's feelings and real over people who have these issues, then don't get attention when you are just using the cause. You don't represent every black person or every white person. You are just taking advantage. And these are what makes me very mad. This makes me because it's just a way that they have of like steering the emotions of people. And remember, these people don't see consequences because these people don't live in the real world. They don't function. They don't have to go to the groceries. They don't have to drive the cars. They don't have to go walk their dogs. They don't have to go out with their families. They have no friends, or the friends are paid or fake, or the friends are just people that are just going to tell them yes about everything. So they don't function in reality. So for them to go and steer all these and say all these things and pretend these things don't have any consequences, but for other people do. And that's the difference. And that's what I say, that focus on what is important, not in all these different causes. And as long as people are paying attention to this is not going to go away. And it's not an issue that just like it's just like a sickness and a mentality that is just totally wrong. And I don't understand it, but I don't pay attention to those. Like, I hardly like these days, and it's like social media and all that doesn't interest me. It doesn't interest me at all. The only things that I do just just like I do art, and I like to do art. I I do original stories, even though it seems like, oh, everybody has the same idea. No, I came with the ideas. I don't like using other ideas of other people, and it's just like stealing ideas. And they have all these tools where they can see steal what I'm doing, and I don't do that. Hacking is I, it's like going into a person's house and opening the door and taking something. That's not right. That's not right. It's the same thing. And as the laws have to evolve, because it's the kind of society that we are now, to make that is a crime. So, and I don't want to be like agitated, or um but it seems to happen every day, and it happens very often. And it's like some things like used people do for attention, and I don't pay attention. It's like live in my environment, and I don't have interactions with a lot of the people that have interactions with. I'm not dating anyone. I don't have interest. And a lot of people that before is like they just wanted to like, oh, you don't want a date where you just like invited everyone and told everyone and just like took photographs and put it in the press. You just want press, and you just want to promote yourself. And I don't like any of this. I don't like it. And it's not a kind of person that just is in the same page with me. So I have no interest, and I don't want to date anyone that have ever dated before, or I don't see the quality of men. And it's like it's not something on my mind right now. Um, and I'm like so glad. Like I look to before, and all the like it has never been a lot of the quality of men. So I look before in the auction. So like it's like I'm so glad, like that I never like got any serious with anyone. And it's mainly because I was so concentrated in my studies and things like that. So, and even right now, like I have so many things, like I have so many work that I don't have the time and I don't miss that. And it's just like a relief that I don't have that. Like I really don't miss, like I don't feel that I miss how I like feel like, oh my gosh, like I make the right decisions. Like I really, like I'm really glad that I'm not the person who is with this other person. And I don't keep tag like after I move, like even after I left from school, like I don't, it's like I move on. I don't need to know anything else. Move on from everyone. Like I don't need to know what you're doing. Just 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 be good, and that's, I hope that they're doing good. What people deserve to be doing good. I mean, people that just harmful, and um they just took advantage before, and they just wanna be taking advantage right now, and it's not invited. And it doesn't matter who they change themselves to. It's like you can be a copy of me, and it's not gonna work out. Don't waste your time. Just go for someone that really, gets you and wanna be with you, because that person isn't me. Um. So, and it's not like I'm putting anyone down. It's just the reality. Like sometimes you're not compatible. It's, there is no compatibility any any way. Like it's like a terror scenario that I know that is not going to. It's, it's like almost like electricity when it's different poles, and it just makes a reaction, and reaction is not good. So um well, that's like, and it's like just, people just keep coming back, and it's like, and it's like a pathological liar too, because it's not a person that comes back just being and sits and have a conversation and says like, okay, I wasn't truthful before, or explains. No, it's a person that keeps lying and builds another lie and another persona. It's like, no, you have to go and look for psychological help. Help yourself psychologically, because you are not well. That's what you have to do, and stop lying. But I don't know what I don't do with that, and I'm not responsible for that. So I have nothing to do with that. And like like sometimes the best thing you can give to people is your distance, and that's the best thing that has happened to me. Like I don't miss my friendships. I don't. I really don't. Um, because they were very fake, and it's like even like things that were like very innocent, because like I didn't have, like I have friendships from school, so it's not a level where you just discuss things that you do in school, or things that I did, like things when I was with people that were out of school. So it was never like things that were very adult, and like, and it was like people that I knew for a very long time. But just like the core of how these friendships came about, it was based in fake lies and were people that were very so much older than I was, and it was like robbed me from having friendships that were um that I should have. um like I don't mind having friends that are older. It's like I don't mind that at all, but it doesn't have to be based on a lie. You don't have to pretend that you are in my classroom and you are my age, and that you are one of my classmates when you are a grandma who has grandchildren. It's like, okay, why? No, that's mm, that's just wrong. Um, so things like that, you know. Um, but as I said, I live my life very honestly and open, and I never mean to hurt anyone, and I never done anything criminal. Um, I never done anything wrong in my life, and so I don't regret anything. To to be very honest, like I have no regret at all. And but as I said, I'm not just talking out of speaking. This is a very serious issue that has put my life in dangers. And it seems like, oh, why don't you just keep quiet? No, I'm not going to be quiet because I'm not doing anything wrong. And I'm not going to be quiet because you keep doing the same thing. If you want me to be quiet, then stop doing the things that you're doing. And I might consider to not speak about the subject. But if you keep doing the same things and trying to intimidate me and to bully me and to abuse me sexually and physically and mentally, I'm going to keep speaking about it and also matter the consequences. I'm not afraid. I have no fear in my bones. And I started this saying, whatever happened will happen. And I'm saying this, whatever happened will happen. That's why it's so important, like just for me just to make these recordings, because I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I don't know what's gonna happen in a few hours. My hope, like I have my hopes. I hope that I live a very long time and that I raise chickens. I don't even know how to raise chickens or have a farm. I don't even know how to plant tomatoes. I think that's why I make this story, because it would be nice if I know how to plant tomatoes, but I don't. So it's like I don't know what's gonna happen. So and it's just like being to um buying things to eat can be dangerous for me. And how is that possible that I nobody takes care of me in any single way, and but someone can take all my decisions and consider, and they are doing pretending to be who they're not. They're lying. Their lives are disasters. And how is it that they are my representatives and have right to post my pictures and have right to sign contracts and have rights over me when they have shown that they cannot control their lives and cannot control themselves? Like how a person who has no responsibility or has shown a lot of psychological, not just like saying lines and gossipings and things that are in the tabloid, but real troublesome things that should trouble anyone, has any right over another person who has a track that is just about as normal as it can be. I don't understand it. The only reason this happened is money. They are paying money. That's the only reason. They are lying. They're paying money. That's the only reason, because there is no other reason whatsoever in reality. Okay, if you make it into a fiction book that is very interesting, but is not honest and is not the truth, maybe. But in real life, when we're talking about the real life where people function, this is not even possible. This is not the reality. This is not any judge, any anyone who has their conscience could not agree to this, because none of these people, whether it's a company, which this is not my family either, this is not my family, this is a company who is going from time to time, from time to time, from time to time, scamming and making fake businesses and taking advantage, and their accounts are under their own names. This money is not going after me. I don't see any of those money. And it's very easy to prove that, because I have my bank account um statements. Like, everybody can see it, and I have shown it to other people, and it's ridiculous. Like, what I spend in a month. Like, I don't even own a car. Like, I this is how. And I don't own a car. Like, I could have owned a car, but you maybe I just like, just a normal car. But I don't have luxuries. Like, maybe I have clothes and what I need, but I just, like, what I spend is not the kind of money that what they're getting and what they're making. And this money is going to their accounts. And why? Because they're not doing any other work. It's a festival. Like, um I there is no papers to sign. Everything that I do it myself. Um, Whether it's physical, mentally, everything. Like, nothing. They do nothing for me, and no, thank you. Do not volunteer, because the way that they run their lives, I don't want mine to be run. And I don't necessarily, I don't need it. I don't really need it. I'm a very independent person, and this is how I'm going to live my life. And it's like, it takes me, like, right now, like, I feel I have a lot of work, but at the same time, I just, like, I just map things and just do the work at the time, and I just, like, do it, and I don't need anyone else. And one of the things that was happening, that when I was in school, like, they pair you with all these people, or they of someone comes to you, oh, let's do this together, and you do them together, and you don't realize that this person is just trying to get your idea. Suddenly they stop. Oh no, I can't do it anymore. Okay, you can't do it anymore. But it's like they stole my idea, and now there is two of these very similar things, and they're claiming my ideas. That's why I don't work with people anymore. So it's just like trick after trick and after trick, and it's just like, just do your own thing. It's like having me 24 hours on the surveillance, and I'm here, I'm trying to do my work, and I'm trying to live my life. Why don't you just live your life? It's like, just like claim that you do everything better than me. Of course you do everything better than me, because you copy them, and you have all these teams to do it for you, and then you have all this money, and even when you have someone else to do it for you, and you have all this money, it's still my it's my idea, and my things are it's quality, honey, it's quality.